Sandy Says Read. Welcome to the channel. Tonight we are going to do a review of Damsel in Social Distance. This is by C.P. Morgan. Make sure I got her name right because I know her as Cassandra Morgan. C.P. Morgan wrote this. There's a glare on it. Get the glare off the book. There you go. Can you see it? It's a pretty little cover. You might recognize this book as one that I had in a book haul from back in July or August, back in July. I gave this book to my neighbor. Stop right there. Okay, I gave this book to my neighbor. She did read it and she did like it. She really did enjoy it. She caught me out in the yard here recently and was like, I want to give you back that book. I'm like, well, I gave it to you. I mean, it's Cassandra wrote an inscription to her in here because it was for her. It's all good. It's all good. She really did enjoy the book. And in fact, she hated the character she was supposed to hate. I mean, she enjoyed the book. She said that my neighbor Liz, she sat down one afternoon and just read through the whole. My neighbors are still racing up and down the streets, you guys. I'm not editing that out. We're just plowing through. Anyway, Liz sat down one afternoon, read the whole book because she wanted to have a break in, the day and read it, and she really enjoyed it. So there you go. I also enjoyed it. Because I didn't read it before I gave it away. It was a gift. So I read it after she gave it back to me. The specs. All right. Damsel in Social Distance. Cover. All right. It's a fast 216 pages. I mean, it's a quick and easy, good read. Published in 2020 by White Whisker Publications. And that date is important because the social distance title matters. This book it takes place during the pandemic, and the pandemic plays a role in the actions, the activities, what happens in the story. Basically, we have the young lady, Daisy Colton. Daisy Colton has just escaped from a manipulative, dangerous relationship. She's just escaped from this, I'm going to swear, she's just escaped from a jackass named Eric. And she has gone back home to move in with her mom for a little bit to, get back on her feet. But the pandemic has just broken out. So she's at home with her mom, and her mom works in a pharmacy. So she must still go to work. She's an essential worker, right? We all remember those days when the essential workers still had to go to work and other folks were, sequestered at home and working from home. And I mean, it takes you back. It takes you back. But it was nostalgic in that way. I mean, I think it's kind of funny to think of, just 2020 was only 3 years ago, and yet it feels nostalgic. And like the beginning of the pandemic, I was at ConExpo in Vegas when the pandemic was really starting here in the United States. And, ConExpo was shortened by a day because of the pandemic. And now I'm fixing to go to ConExpo again in March of 23. And just so reading this, everything was just coming right back to me. But there was something else coming right back to me, and that was Eric, the jackass. The things that he says, the text messages he sends, the memories that Daisy has, that she remembers, things she remembers him saying, those things also were coming back to me because I lived with a jackass. I refer to him as Crazy Pants. I lived with a predator who said the things that Eric says. So I want to mention that while I recommend this book, and I recommend it because there's a happy ending, I recommend it because there is a good relationship that happens in here and a healthy relationship you can see in here. I recommend it for those reasons, and because it's well written. I do want to give not a warning, but the caveat that some of the things in here remind you of troublesome times. The pandemic, the toilet paper shortage, the masks that we had to wear, the distancing, the social distancing, 6 feet, and then Eric and his text messages. If you've ever had a situation where someone was manipulating you, telling you that you were less than, telling you that you were worthless, and that you will never amount to anything, and that you have to stay with them because they are the only thing that's going to protect you and help you get through life. Those memories will get stirred up. Okay, because Cassandra C.P. Morgan is a very good writer. She's good at the show don't tell. She's good at making you live, or having you live and feel what you're reading. You experience what you're reading because she's a good writer. So just go into the book knowing that you will experience, you will feel, but go into the book knowing that you will also experience and feel the good at the end. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, yeah, that's kind of a spoiler, but it's a romance. It's a sweet romance that ends right, that ends well. It's the story of Daisy Colton becoming empowered, and she becomes empowered on her own. She has agency. Daisy has her own thoughts and her own feelings, and she works through what she needs to work through. Even though there is a love interest, there's a young man named Luke Richards who lives across the street from her mom. He's a paramedic. He's a good fellow. He has just all the right goodness about him. He doesn't push, he doesn't press, he doesn't expect, he doesn't say mean things. He says good things, supportive things, healthy things. He is a healthy individual, but he does not save the damsel. He just shows the damsel she can save herself. I really liked that. That was also a good positive message that flowed through here and showed up in the end. I liked that a lot. So let's see. What did I write down for you guys in my notes? It's set up in, the chapters are set up in days, like day 1, day 2, day 3. So days 1 through 17 is kind of the get to know Daisy and get to know the boy next door. Well, he's the boy across the street. We get to meet this dog named Apollo that Luke walks for someone. And we get to meet this kitten that Daisy, she almost runs over with her car, but she rescues this little kitten. And we get to see her adopting this kitten and caring for another creature. Very nice. And then we skip some time lapses, and we get to day 34, where we get this sort of the climax with Eric, with the jackass. He comes back into the story, and it's just obnoxious, and you want to strangle him, and you fear for Daisy, and you fear for what's happening. You actually fear for her life, and it's suspenseful, and it's that. And then when we see that she saves herself, okay, we see her save herself, we see her come out of it, and we see her grow and be the woman she's supposed to be. And then we get the epilogue, and the epilogue is lovely, and we get day 491, 15 months later. It's sort of an epilogue, sort of a confirmation of the happy ending, the confirmation of this girl is going to be all right, and the good ending. I really like that. That's what I want to share with you about Damsel in Social Distance. It was a gift for my neighbor. My neighbor liked it. I liked it when she gave it back to me, and it's just really nice. Usually in these reviews, I like to read a snippet out of the book. I'm not going to do that this time. Just trust me that it's well written. Cassandra does a very nice job of writing. Her style is wonderful, but I don't want to read something that would trigger a negative feeling in someone, because some of the things that Eric says are rough. It's, I lived there, I know, and so I don't want to read that. Just know that after those horrible things that Eric texts or says, or that Daisy remembers him saying, she works through it. She remembers those things, and she powers through them. She gets through them. She gets away from those thoughts, and that's a good message in the end. That's it, you guys. I don't know if I've got more stuff coming up this week. I've got some travel happening, so just a little bit here. But if you would, please like and follow and subscribe and all those things you're supposed to do with these channels, so that you're aware the next time something random comes along. Thanks so much for tuning in.